Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. Today guys, we're going to be taking a first look, an exclusive first look, at the brand new agent coming to Valorant in the new act, KAYO. Now, if you guys don't know, KAYO is the new agent being released, and he is going to be a handful. I was very lucky to be one of the people selected to be able to play him and play test him early, along with a bunch of other content creators and what have you. So, what you'll be seeing is sort of a VOD review of sorts, of me watching other people play KAYO, because the honest truth is that if I play him, I only probably get to play him one game. But if I just spectate, I get to watch everybody play KAYO the whole time. And I get to learn more, and I get to have a ton more footage and a ton of stuff to say about it because I can just watch it the entire time. So that's exactly what I did. So we'll be doing a sort of VOD review, obviously, with KAYO just being released and everybody being on him for their first game. I'm not going to be too harsh on anybody. In the first game here, we have Iridium as well as Mendo playing KAYO. And we're going to be talking about his abilities. We're going to be talking about how to use them, his ultimate, sort of, you know, what it means for the game, how he fits into the meta, you know, who should play him, who he's good for, and how I think the people playing him are doing. If they're doing well, if they're doing good, bad, what they can do better, or maybe, you know, I just have an idea about how something should be played. That is the goal of this video. It's just like a VOD review, and of course, I am going to be spectating, so, you know, I am going to be very nice to these guys. There's obviously only so much critique you can give when an agent just comes out and this is everybody's first time playing him. So with that being said, please enjoy the VOD review. Hope everybody's been doing well, and yeah, hope you learned something new. And let's begin here, picking up in the second round with Mendo. So in terms of his abilities, if you guys are not aware, I'll briefly go over them. His E ability is called 0 Point. He equips a suppression blade that, when thrown, sticks to the first surface it hits. The knife then winds up and suppresses anyone caught in the explosion radius, rendering their abilities useless. This is like a silence. You're going to see this used a lot. Probably going to be a lot of lineups based off of this to be able to throw it into certain areas for maximum effect. Another very cool thing about 0 Point is that it goes through walls, which is really nice. Now, according to the people playing him and in these games, they were saying that you can break it with just about one shot of pretty much any gun. So if you do not shoot the knife, well, that's kind of on you, but you're going to see that used a lot. Another thing I noticed while watching is that it was also telling us who was being sort of suppressed, so who was caught in that radius, which gives you a lot of information. One thing you're going to notice about KAYO and his abilities is he's got a little bit of everything, which makes him really, really strong. The next ability, of course, is his Q, which is his flash drive. Very funny, good name for it. So KAYO equips a flash grenade that explodes after it's thrown, finding enemies in its line of sight. Right-clicking the grenade causes it to only cook for 1 second before exploding. Left-clicking cooks the flash for 1.6 seconds longer. I'm not sure if that's exactly right, but nonetheless, right-click is a much shorter pop flash, very reminiscent of Counter-Strike. If anyone's played CSGO, you guys know about right-clicking your flashes or throwing a pop flash. That is exactly what it looks like. That is exactly what it feels like. When I was in the range testing it, I was like, I'm playing Counter-Strike. It felt awesome. So all you CSGO players are going to love that. Very strong flash as well. I don't really see a big downside to it. I like the option to have 2 different strengths of throw. I think that's really good. His C ability is a fragment. Fragment, obviously, KAYO equips an explosive fragment that sticks to the floor when thrown. The fragment explodes multiple times and deals near lethal damage at the center with each explosion. So yeah, this is something that you're going to want to move out of the way of. This is a frag grenade. In these games, the players that were playing KAYO were not really getting much value or many kills from what I could see out of fragment. Mainly it was pushing people away or sort of zoning off areas, not really going for those kills, because obviously one thing he's going to be good at is lineups, right? Post plant lineup, you throw the frag onto the bomb, it pulses, you know, does near lethal damage at the center. So anybody sticking, if that thing goes off, they are in some trouble. But you know, a very strong part of the kit. We get another grenade, much like Raze now. There is another grenade in the game that you know, acts like a real grenade instead of, you know, something that then has to be activated or what have you. So an interesting ability. But when you start pairing all these abilities together, you know, he does start to feel pretty strong. And now we only played, you know, so many games, but the consensus, and right here we're actually going to see 0 point potentially be used through the wall from Mendo. I think he was talking about it. But the overall consensus was that KAYO is very strong and does feel like someone who's going to be in the meta. But we're not even done yet with abilities. We still need to talk about his ultimate, but let's check out what Mendo is doing here. So he's throwing his flash grenades right now. That looked like a left click, not a right click. Is able to bounce it off the wall, kind of turns to his left to avoid some of that flash. Looks like it works out pretty well there. He does get the kill. But the final ability, the ultimate ability, is called null/CMD. I'm assuming it just stands for command. Null command. So KAYO instantly overloads with polarized Radianite energy, empowering him and causing large energy pulses to emit from his location. Enemies hit with the pulses are suppressed for a short duration. So he pulses out a suppression. KAYO also gains a combat symbol overloaded. I'm assuming that's going to be similar to Brimstone or to Arena. And if the robot is killed while overloaded, so if you down KAYO, he's down and enters a destabilized state that allows allies to revive him by stabilizing his core. If you do not revive him, he dies. So, boom. Those are the abilities. Looking at those at face value, I think a lot of people would say, wow, he seems pretty strong. And I would say, wow, you're pretty smart, because, yeah, I think he is pretty strong. When you look at it, you know, you've got information gathering, one of the most important parts of any game, especially a game like Valorant. You can get info with your 0, right, with your E ability. Look at this knife that Mendo is throwing. Boom. Right there. How many agents did that just pop up on the screen? So many. Iridium here, the other KAYO, is currently suppressed. As you can see, he cannot use his abilities. So strong. Goes right through the wall. That's going to be great against rushes, by the way. Being able to suppress an entire team trying to, you know, quickly push you. Obviously, rushes don't always work too well in Valorant anyways, but that will be very, very nice. And then, you know, so you've got your information gathering from that. You've also got a bit of sort of like ability denial, which you really have only seen so far with Killjoy's ultimate. We've got that in an E ability. It's very interesting. Flashes, of course, you know, how can you go wrong with adding some flashes to Valorant? His Q ability, Flash Drive. Love the flashes. I love this style. Nothing wrong with that. I have nothing negative to say. Good flashes. But again, you know, flashes are pretty strong. And then you've got his C, which is his frag. His grenade, and once again, now we've got straight up damage dealing abilities. So first we had information, sort of denial of ability. Then we have flashes, denying vision, you know, all that good stuff that comes with that. Now we've got damage. So we've got a little bit of everything with his grenade pulsing, near lethal in the middle. I'll have to test out, see what those damage values are, but that does sound very deadly, especially if you're able to combo that with something like an Astra Suck. And then finally you've got an ultimate. Now, the ultimate itself sort of feels like a mix between like Arena and a little bit of Killjoy, although it only pulses a few times as far as I'm aware. As it says in the description, pulses are suppressed for a short duration. His ult is not the strongest part of him. I think it's really his abilities that bring that. But right here on the screen, Mendo obviously had ulted. As you're seeing, he is downed. The strongest part about his ult is not the fact that he can be revived. It's the fact that he has like 800 health. You really can't kill the ult unless you are 100% sure no one is near you and you have, you know, the spare ammo and like a rifle. There is a lot of health on that thing. I watched so many people try to kill the ult and be unable to. At one point we were playing Breeze. 3 people were killing the ult at once and it still took a while to die. So very, very strong. In all honesty, you can just let it run out. The KAYO will die, so not super important. But nonetheless, when you pair all this together, a lot of people are going to ask Dragon, do you think he's overpowered? I would say, based off of what I'm seeing, that this is the strongest new agent I've seen released into Valorant so far. I might be wrong. People may have different opinions. I just don't remember having this reaction to a new agent. First of all, he's cool as hell, right? That's easy. So he's cool. He already has points there. But he just feels so strong. Every part of his kit I like. I think that had they gone for a more in-your-face ultimate, something that, you know, was more akin to like a Raze rocket or brimstone ult, or just something that does straight damage and is fairly easy to use, that could have just tipped it too far. They kind of stepped back and they said, okay, let's just have him, you know, pulse and suppress people around him and have him be downed. The downed part, you know, it does concern me, obviously. If you saw my tweet, I tweeted, oh no, with that description of the down status, because I just am worried about the resurrections and stuff becoming too powerful. You know, obviously with Sage Res, it's one thing, it's an ultimate, and again, KO, it's an ultimate, but I still get worried about it. Right there, the suppression, as you can see, Jet with no abilities, Jet won't be able to dash away. Nice little job there by Mendo. But as I was saying, is he overpowered? I would just say he's the most overpowered agent I think I've seen released thus far. Now, let's talk about his role in the team, right? Because as you're watching this, you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, I play Duelist, I could play KO, you know? Or, hey, I play Initiator, let me play him. Or maybe you're a Sentinel, and you're like, you know what? It's my time to shine. Hold your role there, buddy. No, but seriously, I do think that KO is definitely more of a support, like, entry rather than, like, the first entry. I think he can definitely take that role, but because he has area denial, and because he has something like we're seeing right here with the 0 point, being able to gather information, you want to keep those agents alive a bit longer. So if they're the first ones dead, you lose a lot of that value. When you have something like a Phoenix on your team, much much better to have him going first. And then you have your KO follow, right? I believe his status in game is Initiator, if I'm correct. I think people in these games were playing him more as a duelist, just because that's, you know, what they're kind of used to. He has flashes. Why wouldn't you play him that way? Because his flashes behave a lot like the other duelists, as opposed to someone like a Breach or a Sky, right? But I do think he falls in the middle of those. I can definitely see duelist players thriving with KO, as well as you know, Initiator or support players thriving with him. I don't think he fits Sentinel players at all. So if you are someone who plays Sentinel, this agent just does not fit your play style. Right here, Iridium looks like he's trying to peek the corner. Actually, I remember watching this. He ends up going down just as he ults. So he's just chilling here with 5 seconds remaining. As you can see, his health was huge. Of course, Kreenak there tries to come around, goes for the kill, but just in time, teammate there to pick him up, the Jet. And the great thing about that is, as you noticed, there was 2 seconds left from him dying, but it pauses when you're being revived. So that was big there to keep him alive. Mendo also with the ult, going down into the down status, as you can see there. Tons of health, right? No worry about dying. And unfortunately, we had to end that game a little bit early. Someone had to go play a Rust wipe. It just wiped. New server. Anyways, moving in here to the second game. Like I was telling you guys, I was just spectating the KOs, right? So I have a ton of footage of this. It's awesome. It's not like I only got to play one game or something. So this is great. I've got a lot of stuff to show here. And we have some different players. In this one, we got Effects as well as Ethos on the KOs. So here, again, we're playing on Bind now. And Bind, I think, you know, favors KO a bit more, probably just because I think on Bind there's a lot of really great opportunities to flash. Just from my own experience, I do find flashes on Bind to be very oppressive. But here, Effect showing us the power of that flash. Now, he did get spammed down there with the headshot, but wow, that flash was strong coming out of that corner. And as we're seeing here, he's got his, I believe that looked like the grenade. Hard to tell sometimes. I know that thing kind of looks like a canister. Those are the flashes. I know that. So that is the grenade. As you see there, Ethos decides he's going to try to kill his teammate there with the grenade. You saw it pulsing. Dealt pretty significant damage in that short amount of time. But moving up here towards B long. As you see, he throws a low flash there. People in these games were definitely having trouble getting their flashes to have sort of the maximum effect. I think that, again, it's one of those things where this is an agent with different style flashes. You know, you've got a long throw with the left click and a short toss with the right click. So people are going to have to get used to that style of flash. You know, it's not like a Phoenix flash where it's very controlled, or a Sky flash where it flies forever. You know, you kind of have to finesse it a little bit. Ethos with a pretty nice flash there, though. I'm sure that blinded both of them. Pops up for one headshot and gets the second. I remember that was a very nice play. So as of right now, as you guys are probably watching, you're probably all changing your names, you know, getting ready, putting your profile pictures to KAYO and everything, calling yourself a KAYO main. I would hold off on that because so is everybody else, and everybody's going to be insta-locking. So Valorant is going to be a living hell for probably the next month or so for a lot of you guys playing every day. I feel really bad for you, especially if you insta-lock. I'll still be playing smokes because, you know, that's all I do because I'm lazy and old. No, just kidding. All right, moving into round 4 here. The TP from behind from the Omen. Ethos is ready for it, but gets taken out there. Here's Effects. He's got no abilities, though, unfortunately. One thing I did hear some complaints about from the people playing KAYO is that his abilities were not very cheap. I think it was the Flash in particular, but I actually have not checked the buy values yet. Because I always have cheats on when I'm doing stuff. Not that I'm a cheater or anything. Never mind. But here we are inside of U-Haul. 2v2. There's a Cypher ult, and I believe these guys just go to the other side of the map. Going to be planting on the B bomb site. One thing I will say is that for you guys watching a lot of streams, obviously people are going to be streaming a ton of KAYO. He is very fun to watch, it is very fun to watch. KAYO is a great agent. I think that there's potential for some huge plays from him, which is exactly what a lot of us are looking for. This to me feels like the perfect agent for pub stomping, right? You know, you've got a lot of self-reliance. You can get information, you can flash, and you can damage, as well as you have his ultimate, which when you think about his ultimate, I honestly think that it is going to be something where you can use it to do an entry sort of similar to how a Phoenix would do one, with the Phoenix running it first with his ultimate. The only problem is that I don't think you can move in it, and because of that, you're kind of stuck where you get shot down. So if you get shot in a really bad spot, sometimes you're just not going to be resable, which kind of renders his ultimate, you know, a little pointless. One really interesting thought somebody had, I forget who said it, but if they plant the spike, you could charge them when it's low on time, go down in your ult, and as long as you have another teammate up, you would always know when they're on the spike or not, because, you know, it's so hard to kill a KAYO when they go down in their ult. You could just hang out and watch them, you know, if they defuse, if they stick or whatever, and relay that information. But nonetheless, here Effects moving in. As you see, Ethos was affected by that suppression that Effects threw in. Gonna run back and gets taken out with the Marshall. A lot of Marshall kills in these games. But here's Effects. He got a lot of stuff to work with. So there's the frag, and the knife comes in. I believe that guy was actually hit by the KJ ult, though, so we will not, you know, make fun of anybody here. All right, moving into the next round, round 7. Taking a look here with Effect. He's got his ultimate, and again, I think that one thing we're going to struggle with, much like with a Reyna ult, is when do you use it? When can you get value out of this ultimate? I think one thing that is going to be really, really strong with KAYO is using him in a 2v1 where it's not just a 2v1 for the whole game, right? There's other players live, like it's 5v5, but you're going for that double swing, and especially close range, because I noticed that when KAYO was ulted and people were getting the down on him, a lot of them would keep shooting him because they aren't used to having somebody go down and still be shootable. So what's going to happen is, if you guys are playing and you have an opportunity to swing with your KAYO who's ulted, let the KAYO go first, let him get downed as you shoot, come around, trade him, and just get the res. Because I can almost guarantee most people are not going to be able to click off of that KAYO onto you fast enough. They're going to try to deal some damage to him or a few extra shots on him because they're not used to it. So that's something you're going to be able to take advantage of early on with KAYO's release. Ethos there getting caught from behind. Moving into the next round, we got Effects here. Just tossing that frag out. That actually looked pretty decent. But again, without having anything to suck them in or pull them, it's going to be hard to keep them in place like that. Now, an interesting combination would be the Raze grenade paired up with the KAYO frag. That could be interesting to see if somehow you're able to sort of stack those damages together. But like I said, I really do think that most people are going to be using those frags probably for post plants or for clearing, much like you would with a Phoenix Molly or a Raze nade. I'm not sure how much pairing up we're going to see with like Astra abilities. Maybe at high levels of play we'll see that, but you know, time will tell. We'll see. People are very creative. Nonetheless, though, Ethos going for the plant here. He is out of abilities, though. So let's get the plant down. If I am correct, I believe KAYO's ultimate is 7 ult points, it looks like. Kind of hard to see on my screen right now, but I believe it's 7 ult points. So puts it up there. Definitely not something that's easy to get. And like I said, I don't think that's the strongest part about him. You know, where there are certain agents where their ultimate is really what you're looking for. But with KAYO, you know, you've got pretty much everything you want in his regular abilities, which is something I love, because I think that a lot of people struggle to find value outside of their ultimates, or they look to get all their value from agents in their ultimate. And KAYO is not one of those agents. He's really going to allow you to have great value and have a great effect on every round without his ultimate. I think that's great. Ethos here, as you can see, he uses his E, which is his 0 point, right? Because he's trying to get info. He's saying, okay, is anybody challenging this orb here in showers? He sees nobody was spotted, so he moves through. Unfortunately, does go down there to the op, but that's a smart play, right? That's what you're looking for. Using that to quickly clear out an angle, secure an orb, it's perfect. And I think that is, you know, that's what makes him so strong. That's a Sova thing, right? That's a Sova. Sova doesn't have a flash, you know what I mean? Like, that is what Sova's for, to be able to get information like that. Now, obviously, he can't do it quite like Sova can, but nonetheless, that's very good on an initiator / duelist agent. Effects was going for some lineups this game. Don't ask me. I watched him flash himself a few times. Like I said, it's going to take some time to get used to this stuff. Right here, I believe he's lining up a frag. I think it does land, though, inside. I'm not sure if it does damage to anybody. But here we are on a pistol round. This game was a little bit lopsided, at least to start. Can't remember if there was a comeback or not, but moving around here. Again, looking at the suppression, it's just, you know, obviously late in rounds or on pistol rounds, you're going to struggle because most people aren't buying that many abilities. But I can see some times where that suppression from 0 point is really going to, you know, hurt plays or even, you know, completely win rounds. Can you imagine suppressing someone from being able to use a key ultimate late in a round or something? You know, if they're trying to defend the spike being planted post-plant, you know, you have your KAYO, throw that 0 point into a Sova so he can't ult, something like that, right? I'm sure there's going to be some great plays. And a nice pistol work there. I believe that was Arctic there on the Viper. So Ethos right there showing, that was the right click, by the way. As you saw, that kind of just popped up like that. That's exactly what I was talking about, a pop flash, just like CSGO. There's another one, comes out wide, but we'll have to back off. Does take some damage there. And again, we just saw that was the grenade. Obviously, you see it pulsing 3 times. People are not going to want to step into that. And remember, if you go in the middle, it does big damage. So definitely not something you want to be stuck in. Ethos, that's to me. I remember watching that. I was like, wow, how is that not a headshot? But does not get the kill there. But they do win the round. The game is not over quite yet. Ethos taking a few shots there. He's got a decent amount of utility here. Couple ult points. I believe he's 2 ult points away from his ultimate. There's effects. Other side of the map completely. Looking like this may be a B take. Now we've got both of our Qs here. So those are 2 flashes to be used. There's one, not the best. Just, you know, straight up blinds the rays as they go in. Here's Ethos. Ready to return the favor with the flashes. And right here, this was a beautiful play. Effects, great flash, comes around the corner. Just gets a little stuck in that spray, as you do. Come around the corner, you got 3 guys flash. Who do I shoot? He sprays 1 down, but really there, I know, you know he wants more than 1, and I think he probably should have gotten more than 1. So that was a good attempt right there by Ethos. As you can see, he's trying to throw his grenade to bounce to sort of interrupt post plant, but he just can't get the grenade far enough there. So it actually comes up a little bit short, and it doesn't disrupt the planter. But that was a good attempt. I'm sure that's going to be something a lot of people are doing, banking a grenade off of that wall, just boom, you know, free post plant disruption. It's going to be great. Little KO on KO violence there. Ethos flies around that corner, hits a headshot. And they do actually end up winning the round. So we continue here. 12-7 match point still. Looking at effects now, back on Ethos here. Looks like most of the team coming down short A here. And these are the things, like, if you got information that they're there, you know, if you want, like that, boom, throws the 0 point, sees 2, both are suppressed. You know, can you imagine suppressing a jet when they're opping, and then the jet can't dash? They miss, you push them, they can't dash anywhere. Can you imagine? It's gonna be sick. There's just so many interesting, you know, interactions, and this is something that I think, you know, I don't talk about this much, but this is something that's gonna catch the player base off guard for a while, is all the different interactions and what it means to not be able to use abilities on certain agents for certain amounts of time. A lot of people are reliant on it, like Yoru being able to teleport back to safety, Jet being able to dash to safety, being able to counter flash, being able to, you know, safely, you know, wall yourself off, something, whatever it is. There's going to be a lot of interactions with this 0 point suppression that are going to catch people off guard. So that's definitely something you guys are going to want to watch for. Ethos there with the flash. I really love that play. I mean, that's exactly what you're looking for. You go for a flash off the wall. It comes back, you know, just as it enters their vision, it flashes them. And Ethos here showing us how it's done with there with a 3K. Nice headshots. Very crisp, very clean locks. And a great round, some great flashes. That is exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about Counter-Strike flashes, right? Just being able to throw them off of walls, have them, you know, have them explode or have them flash at exactly the right time. And being able to pop flash is something that is going to be very useful for those Counter-Strike players who play Valorant. It's going to feel very familiar. So I think a lot of them are going to go to KAYO in these games. And wow, he is going to get insta-locked so fast. Hopefully you guys have Valorant on your SSD. So they're a pretty deep flash, I think, or whatever Ethos threw there. Another one. Now, if I am correct, I believe those do explode in the air. So it's not like it has to interact with an object or something. Ethos does pick up one there with the spray. Last one in the same spot. Just now spots him. A little risky there, obviously, with the knife. Gets the info that, yep, he is definitely there. That was a person shooting me and not my imagination. And there we go. Finishes off the round. 12-10. This could be the comeback. I'm very excited here, on the edge of my seat, as I'm sure you all are as well. All right. Ethos here, moving across the map, rotating. As you can see, by the way, this is the spectator UI. If anyone is unfamiliar with what I'm looking at, it's not like I'm watching streams or something. Everyone's numbered. It was actually really easy to use as well, which is nice, because I remember when it was a lot harder to use. They've added a lot of good options to this, but nonetheless, there Ethos does get the kill onto Kreenak. A nice headshot, and in his ultimate, Resible. Now look at all this damage. Look at that. The Jet's like, actually, hold on. Let me reposition. The spray from the Jet. That was a full spray, by the way, from the Jet, and she couldn't finish him. So just, you know, obviously, you know, hey, not everyone's got the best sprays, but just remember that. That is how beefy KAYO is in his ultimate when he's down. Very hard to kill him. Effects. Channeling his inner Average Jonas with the lineups here. Just going to throw a knife deep into sight. And it lands, I don't even know. On the skybox. I have no idea where that landed. Not anywhere good, though. All right, here we go. Ethos flashing out. Again, comes out just a little bit too wild there on the spray and does go down. On with effects here now. Pushing into sight. Can they close out the game? He's going to flash off this wall. Personally here, I remember watching this. I was thinking, why not use the right click there? I feel like that's a good spot to do it. That way you flash the corner instead of potentially flashing past people if they're holding up close. That to me feels like where you definitely want to use that right click for the flash so that it's just, you know, makes it a little bit easier. And then, of course, I was watching this all day. Everybody's missing their E, throwing them. It seems it's a little weird. The E does feel like it goes very far, but at the same time, it doesn't have the height that a lot of people are expecting. But nonetheless, that is going to end it for the KAYO VOD reviews. These were the first 2 games I watched. Thank you so much to everybody in these games. Mendo, Iridium, Ethos, and Effects for playing KAYO and let me spectate, let me record. I really appreciate it. And hopefully everybody watching, you guys are doing well. I know it's been a little while since we've seen each other. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay, sort of my review and talking about KAYO. And I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on him. It's going to be really cool. And I'm really interested to see what people say and how people react to him when they play him and what he's like to play in and with and against in competitive. So, hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy and peace.